Last we left off, you guys were spending some time in the Shadowfell. Uh, you were a little off topic, or off target, I should say, when you teleported in. But that's fine, because you got to see the lay of the land a bit more. And it was super cool and very wholesome and happy and healthy. There you got to encounter some interesting things, such as a cacophony of loud noises apparently out of nowhere, a doll that looks like Tobias, and a strange creature that wandered up to your dome at night, looked at it, and then wandered away. All good times, happy things. You are all able to make your way to the city of Gloomvale, which is a largely Shadowspire establishment, but there are a few non-Shadowspire present that you saw in the street. There's a certain amount of tension in the air within the city. Like, everyone's afraid, and they're probably right to be, given that the city is ruled by a vampiric dragon. You guys made your way to a library, sort of, known as the Shadowspire, which seems to be a collection of largely primary sources talking about different things. Now, I will say that you guys are all kind of hunkering down and starting to look for the information that you're seeking, which is actually made pretty easy given the little spectral, shall we say, librarians that do not speak. They seem to be just completely nonverbal, as they either direct you toward the information that you ask for, or they will go and retrieve it themselves. So, Valkyria, what are you doing while everyone else is nerding?
That is a good question. There's a lot of creepy undeads around that I'm not allowed to smite because they're actually, peoples. Everyone is reading books of the non-smut variety, so Valk's bored out of her mind.
What sort of smut is there in the Forbidden Library of the Undead?
Probably at least one banned book.
This is the Shadowfell, 50 Shades of Grey.
Boo! I will say that within the library itself, you can tell that there are various undead shades around serving as the librarians. You can also tell that there is somewhere within the depths of the library a very, very powerful undead.
The head librarian.
When you kind of walk around and look at the area, the walls, the things on display, the artifacts, one section, you can just see a little placard that says, this collection was assembled and is maintained by the Eternal Scholar.
The head librarian. The big cheese, the nerd himself. Uh, Valk just had a moment of inspiration of what she'd like to look for.
All right.
The Anarchist's Handbook.
Okay.
Basically, she's gonna start looking for things that go boom on a large scale because plan B, C, D, E, F, and G for the indefinite. And what better place to find volatile and unsafe and probably kill you to do it things than a questionable library of forbidden knowledge?
So I will say that while you are exploring and looking around, one of the librarians, this, as I said the last time, they're spectral and kind of just glide silently through the library's aisles, their forms flickering. You can see one that looks like in life she was a Shadowspire. She looks like maybe she was a teenager. But she's able to guide you towards a section on various large-scale alchemical formulas.
Beautiful. Is there anything, or do I have to roll to see if I find anything that fits my plan G?
I would say no. Can you describe to me exactly what you're looking for?
Basically, Valk kind of has in the back of her mind that plan A for dealing with the indefinite is everyone makes it out alive. But she's not going to go into the fight without if all else fails, break glass and make sure the indefinite gets dead, even if it costs her her own existence. Because she's practical that way.
All right. So you are you are directed towards a little scrap of paper. Looks like it was written a long time ago. But it's very vague the way it's written. But it seems to be a list of ingredients. Firstly, one vial of void essence. I'll give you a second to grab pen and paper.
One vial of void. I could just type it into the group notes. What am I doing?
Let me know when you're ready for me to continue.
One vial of void essence.
One vial of void essence. One fragment of a primordial chaos shard.
Fragment of chaos shard.
One drop essence of time. 10 grams Philosopher's Stone dust.
uh, hmm.
1 miniature black hole singularity.
Mm-hmm.
1 mote of pure magic.
Mm.
And 1 quintessence of thought.
Quintessence of thought. Now, how is that supposed to be spelled? That is not the word that I was aiming for.
Uintessence.
Kind of spelled like a combination of quintuplets and essence.
And then the ritual requirements to create it, you have to be a caster level of 18 or higher. You will need to be a wizard, sorcerer, artificer, specifically for wizard, school conjuration, transmutation, or chronomancy. Spell components that would also be helpful in ensuring success for the creation of this reality bomb. A wish or gate spell to anchor the bomb in reality. Disintegrate to help sort of destroy the boundaries between dimensions, and time stop to stabilize the process.
And is this localized or is this all of reality?
It doesn't say.
Okay, so that's the full-size nuke. Is there a one step down?
Let's see. So you will need, well, you are pointed towards some, speaking of magical artifacts. It really depends on what kind of bomb you're looking for.
50 feet radius, nothing in it survives.
Well, like, what sort of damage? Like, are you thinking, like, fire, or are you thinking, like, force damage to make sure things are disintegrated?
Maximum amount of damage in a localized area.
You are pointed towards a little scrap of paper describing an item known as the Sphere of Annihilation.
Sphere of Annihilation.
I was going to mention the Sphere of Annihilation.
It's
That's a thing.
essentially described as a hole in the multiverse with a magical field around it, and it obliterates all matter that passes through it. And it's a doozy. And you have to be very intelligent to be able to control it and to direct it where it goes. it it can fuck people up.
As I said, Valk is looking for Plan G.
You have no idea where to find an item like this. But you know of its existence now. And in D&D speak, anything that passes through it is destroyed. Anything else that touches the sphere but isn't wholly engulfed or obliterated by it takes 4d10 force damage. So if you just stick your hand in it, ow, but like you'll be okay-ish, maybe.
Excellent. Valk has looked up weapons of mass destruction.
All right. And just while you are looking around, you guys aren't the only people in the library, of course. I mean, there are the specters, but they don't count. There are a couple of Shadowkai in here as well. Valk, one of them sticks out to you. This one seems to be a child.
Like is the only thing I can think of is that scene from Men in Black. Why is a child out with a book on nuclear physics?
Not necessarily like directly in your area. I'm just noting that there are people around.
Well, I'm out of ideas.
All right. Those of you that are being nerds, do you need more time to study the things I sent you, or are you ready to speak? Because I just want to make sure you guys had time to read.
Fair. I've read through all my material, and I actually want to do a little follow-up search, if possible.
Okay.
That second block of information you gave me, I'd like more information on that. Specifically, prevention or... Well, not, maybe not... Or prevention and cure, perhaps.
Once you progress to that state, it would require a wish spell to reverse.
And for prevention?
Leaving the Shadowfell.
Gotcha.
Think happy thoughts.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Got some good shit.
I mean, once Lish is done doing some nerd shit, he'll maybe see if he can chat up a librarian, see what we're dealing with as far as their, like, human consciousness.
Roll an insight check.
Okay. Things would load. And site check. 20. Non-natty.
They don't seem to have any kind of consciousness. They are tools to guide people through the tomes of the library and retrieve items should they be required.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Okay.
they're more like whatever is in charge of this library, kind of just yoinked them from the fields of the Shadowfell, and like, hey, your job is librarian now.
Nice. Employment in the Shadowfell.
Damn, I wish that's how library jobs worked in the real world.
They are not paid a living wage.
Yeah, they're paid a dying wage.
Exactly.
How about an unliving wage?
A wage of the dead.
In fact, they're not paid at all. They're dead.
I mean, lack of material attachment and all that.
I mean, Demir could keep going, but I think after she gets like I imagine that the really old she ends up like going through a few books, and then she ends up with this really old scrap of paper that she spends like a solid 30 minutes just trying to puzzle out. And after that, I think she's done with the nerd shit.
All right.
Finds Valk sitting in the corner with her head absolutely just smoking from having to do nerd shit.
Actually, now I am kind of curious. Demir like kind of watched Valk go off and is having her moment with her head down. Demir is going to go over to the one of the librarians and be like, "So what kind of smut do you have here? What sort of smut is in the Forbidden Library? I want to know."
Let me think about it for a moment.
Yeah, there's a lot of really bad avenues you can go down with this. It's the Forbidden Library.
It's just the fantasy Kama Sutra. It's like there is nothing forbidden here. It's literally just like missionary guide to fucking elves.
Sorry, you're gonna have to go to a darker plane for the bad stuff.
You are able to convince the librarian to take you to this seems to be a small book. It's written in Elvish, and it's called Whispers in the Gloom. And the author is unknown. Like it seems to be handwritten.
Oh my god!
But it's so the author only says that their name is the Quill of a Forgotten Soul.
Fucking artists, man.
And it seems to be a first-person account of someone born in the Shadowfell, and how she was feeling alone and lonely, and that she lived in the city of Gloomvale, and every day was the same. And at one point, someone new arrived in the Shadowspire library, and she had never seen this person before, and this stranger was cloaked in shadow, and She describes how his aura was not that of living or fully dead, and how they were both lonely together, and for a moment, the two of them within the library, they fucked.
Oh my god, I love it. There's library porn in the library. Yeah, okay, that's what Demir spends the rest of her time reading.
Okay.
You can't convince me that Shotokai didn't come in and just put that on the shelf.
Look, this literally seems like whatchamacallit, the fantasy musings of a nerd. So yeah.
Self-insert fanfic?
Someone self-publishes their own porn by just writing porn and putting it in the library.
Anyone else?
Aaron, on his middle text here, I think he's going to have I'd to, unclip it and rearrange it into the order that makes more sense to him. If
right.
one's gonna do that.
I mean, it's already more or less in, again, what's estimated to be the order that it's supposed to be in, but it's really fucking hard to tell. It's weird.
Yeah, he's just gonna insert like just his complete theory, like, yeah, no. This probably happened first. And he just has a whole bunch of papers spread out in front of him, just like, little conspiracy string board.
Aaron,
Connecting
are
them all.
you messing with the librarian's archival system?
Yes, he is.
I mean, Avery did describe some of the books on the shelves last session, if I remember correctly, as sort of just like scattered notes, loosely organized under like a spine. So I'm just imagining that like this happens every time someone takes this book off the shelf, and it's like a randomly generated book experience that's different every time.
What Aaron found was more of like a stack of papers with a fantasy paper clip.
Fair enough.
Lish, at some point, Tobias approaches you and shares one of the documents that he found.
Oh. Grabby hands. Oh, okay. Gee, I love Bob yogurt.
All right.
The book is called I Love Bob Yogurt by Yogurt Bob.
All right, nerds. What are you doing?
Well, I did find something I should probably warn the party about. Seems like Avery had something on her mind, though.
No, I was just saying someone should look for a map of the area. I don't remember if that was on our list or not, but
Oh, yeah.
or a map of the mountains that we need to go to. So, sorry, I forgot.
No, thank you for reminding us.
You were able to find some maps, more or less, of the area that you are in right now. The problem with the Shadowfell is that things are ever changing. So you are able to find some maps, but you quickly figure that your best bet will probably be to stick with the maps that you have of Thea already, in hope that given that you all, well, most of you originate from the prime material plane, that will influence the land around you.
Boy. All right. Cool.
Anyone else?
I think I'll start doing my rounds of warning, perhaps. And I think it would be most logical for Hawk to start with Demir. So Demir's gonna have Rowboy show up, sort of just like trying to stay quiet. He's got a book in his hand. And he starts the conversation with Demir. I have an important question for you. It's gonna sound a little strange. Have you been
Kind of
feeling...
looks up from her porn.
He doesn't notice what you're reading, thankfully. It's probably not titled enough that he, or like, the title's probably not prominent enough that he'd even know. Have you been feeling more down than usual recently or anything like that?
I mean, we are in the spooky and dead land of dead and dying things, so yeah. I mean, no more than probably is to be expected here. Why?
There's one of the things I ran into. There is a lot. I think this plane does. No, Arthur, I know this plane now does more than just dampen your mood. And he hands over this book. It is titled Sorrow, How the Shadows Change Travelers. I'm going to copy what I was given and send it to you.
Oh boy.
I know how to travel, yeah. He's gonna just like briefly paraphrase as you start reading of just like, it seems that here emotions can twist you into something else.
Oh, well, that's dark.
As you said, the whole plane is dark.
Yeah, honestly, pretty expected. Good to know.
Suppose just keep a vigil about it, and hopefully Lish, Valkyria, or I will be able to do something about it before it sets in.
I mean, we have to keep each other in check. Do you think that that sound that we heard earlier may have been connected to these sort of...
It's possible. I imagine most people who travel here who don't know about this probably meet that fate.
Well, good to know. Good to keep an eye out for that.
I thought it'd be a good idea to warn everyone so that we don't, yeah.
Yeah, keep an eye on everyone.
Yeah. Once you're done reading, I'll pass this to the others.
Yeah. And Demir will hand the book back and just kind of... Well, that's pleasant. How did the rest of your research go?
Could we get that info in the group chat?
Yeah, I'm gonna shove it in there once the conversation ends, because that's when he's gonna wander around and pass out this information. So Lish already knows. found a little. Actually, Kokira might actually like to read it. A little prayer to a prayer to Torm about the Phoenix and its former master.
Oh, that's great.
And also this weird piece about a plane that I don't intend on visiting.
Good to know. Well,
You find anything interesting?
Hawk, I will note that it is not a separate plane itself. It is part of the Shadowfell.
Okay, it was the way it was phrased, I wasn't sure.
So far. I found some stuff for the Feywild, but not much else for this particular quest. Well, and this.
Demir
And
says,
Demir is
holding
going
the
to hold
book
up the book.
Yeah.
The porn she's reading. And this. Honestly, I expected more out of the Forbidden Library, but Forbidden Librarian, I suppose.
I suppose it'd be different if any of us were actively looking for something like, actually darkly magical or necromantic or something.
Where is E3?
That's a good question, actually.
Just realized we brought a wizard into the Forbidden Library.
Well, how about you look for your brother and I'll warn the others about this change thing.
Good plan. I'm going to go try and find E3.
I am going to go warn the others, and now I will post the book text into the group chat.
All right. Eitri is sitting at one of the tables. He has a couple of books next to him. He is reading.
Is he like very engrossed in the reading?
He seems pretty interested.
Demir is going to go over and smack the table in front of his book just to startle him a little.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of jumps and looks up at you.
Hi.
I don't see why that was necessary. You could have just greeted me.
It's my job. Demir is going to sit down on like across the table from him and just like finding good stuff.
More or less. I am finding some interesting tomes here. I wished to learn more about the origins of the library in particular. Apparently, she is called the Eternal Scholar, and she is a tiefling. But it's frustratingly vague. I also was searching for information on your Phoenix that you were looking for. Managed to find some information about the Tyrant of Woe. Not a very friendly person, as you can imagine. But yeah, I am still looking around.
Yeah. A lot of things seem to be very vague.
I mean, I suspect that the library is arranged in such a way on purpose, and that the Eternal Scholar, she keeps all of the juicy information for herself.
As usually, these things go.
Well, liches do what they do.
Demir is just going to kind of sit back at the table, like hanging out with him a little bit, waiting for Hawk to finish all his rounds.
All right. I mean, if you ask him at all, he starts talking about lichdom, because that's where his search led him. But it's not something he seems really interested in particular. But he was able to find some vague information about, like, oh yeah, if you apparently have enough corrupting necromantic magic when a phoenix is trying to be resurrected, that will fuck it up.
If it weren't for the fact that you said that he wasn't interested, I was bracing myself for the insight check.
He is a divination wizard. He is more interested in his own business, and
He's more
I'm
interested
going
in
to
knowing
live forever so that I can build a library in the fucking Shadowfell.
More interested in knowing everything than living forever.
Yeah.
I mean, but don't you have to live forever to know everything?
I mean,
You'll
that's
never
debate.
know what
Trying to
books
convince
are
your
written
brother
after you.
to engage in lichdom.
I mean, that's debatable because the human brain can only fit so much information.
That's why you have to change it. That's why you have
The
to become a
lich
lich.
brain.
Just keeping brains in jars
Look,
like a hard drive collection.
I have the ingredients list for lichdom. I have it ready to go if someone
Demir is going to bully her brother into becoming a lich. No, she'll probably just like not really chat nerd shit because she can't really engage on that level, but she'll definitely sit there and listen to him talk about nerd shit and only occasionally throw a spitball at him.
I mean, he seems to be kind of like in the history of the Tyrant of Woe, and I mean, like the Tyrant of Woe seems to have a fondness for unintelligent undead so that they'd be easier to control. And one of the few exceptions was the undead phoenix that you guys are looking for.
Hell yeah.
Tobias also shares a couple of documents with the rest of the party that I shall bloop into the chat. Give me 1 second. There you go. But Tobias shares these things with everyone else. Aaron, what are you doing?
He's at his books. When Hawk comes by to grab him, he's just gonna like start around and say, did you know that drow can be spiders? And then like put his hands together and have them like crawl around like they're a little spider.
Oh, I could actually talk about this. The sign for spider in ASL is just like that.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, he's just doing that on the table.
Interesting.
Both on purpose and not, I think.
Do we have time to maybe try and scry on the vampire now that we're here and on this plane?
Not a bad idea.
That's a good idea. I could try.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's find that motherfucker.
Yeah, Demir will scry on the vampire, but we can do that after everyone's had their moment.
You do you. Find a
I just don't.
that.
I just don't want to take away from everyone else. Like everyone else should have their little moment, and then I can do this try.
Not being unhelpful. I mean, you know, if anyone has anything to say, go for it. Otherwise,
I suppose I could do a suite of insight checks on the party after being informed of issues by Hawk.
okay. Roll an insight check.
Bulk starts sneaking around and just kind of looking around the corner at all the party members while they're not paying attention.
Okay.
Let's go down the list. First, Demir. 12.
I believe that's a 19.
Damn.
Damir's fine.
Okay, Hawk.
I'm not even gonna roll. I'm not even gonna counter roll. I'm good.
16. Is the robot acting depressed? The robot is being a robot.
The robot is being. I was gonna say emotionless, but that's mean.
It's just internal emotions as opposed to external emotions.
Pretty much.
I
I'm
just
doing okay.
rolled a 25 on Lish. This is the most I've ever known about Lish.
What am I rolling on this?
I'm just inciting the party to see if y'all are being affected by the Shadowfell.
So am I rolling? What am I rolling against that?
Deception, if you want.
I just chose not to roll because, like, I don't have anything to hide. I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, Lish is not gonna have anything to hide. He isn't a deceiver anyway, so
I
I
just,
see it's fine.
Thinking
it's
about
what
it,
Valk would do. I just don't know
Mhm.
how this would work mechanically besides inciting check the entire party.
Lish seems fine.
I mean, you could just like, as like, hey, is everyone good? And everyone who you suspect would lie about that. You can insight check.
Okay, Aaron.
Yeah.
19. Is Aaron acting fishy?
That's a. Oh, that's awful. It's a 13.
Okay,
Um,
so Aaron is his ray of sunshine self.
yeah, he seems like he got a bit rattled by the stuff he was reading, but not like he's been like knocked off kilter as a person.
Okay. Demir's little brother. That would be a 25.
It's fine. He's in here trying to look at all of these cool books.
Bulk has a moment of, damn, why does he have to be gay? uh, and finally, Toby, which I flubbed the absolute shit out of the roll. 9.
The one person is not
Seems
here.
fine.
Excellent. The party appears to be good.
All right. Demir, you're going to try to scry on your vampire friend.
Yee.
Yee.
Yee. I think it's just a straight 17.
Okay.
Let me double check though, because I keep on forgetting how scry saves work. One day I will get the hang of it, and that will be the day that we finish the campaign. Yeah, it's just a straight 17.
Okay. Just making sure. Yeah, no, you don't see anything.
Damn it. These bitches keep saving on me. Yeah, Tamir's just going to kind of look a little frustrated and annoyed at her scry ball, and then look at Lish like, didn't get anything. I think
No
he's at.
pinpoint or no?
I think he's out there. I just couldn't see him. I can try again in like 24 hours
Mm,
if we're
maybe.
here that long.
Is there anything anyone else would like to accomplish in the library while you're here?
Any just interesting looking books on the shelves? Just walking down an aisle or two.
I mean, not really books, but you do see a section of the library called the Hall of Echoes.
Ooh, what's that? Is it
Uh,
audiobooks?
One way to find out.
I'll go look.
Okay. I would love just a general wisdom check.
Okay. When the audiobooks listen to you. Just a wisdom check.
Mm-hmm.
9.
Okay. This seems to just be a hallway leading deeper into other sections of the library. Seems pretty quiet.
Oh, I want to hear the echoes.
Should have rolled high enough.
Yeah, help it when the dices do a dice thing. Lish is kind of like, well, it's like an echo chamber, so he'll kind of give it like a little hum. He'll kind of go like, see what happens.
You hear voices kind of whispering, but you can't really make out what they are saying. But it sounds like they are echoing. You can't tell what they're saying.
I'll like hum a little louder, see if we can catch a little bit more.
You can hear the ones that you hear. It seems like people are just having conversations in this part of the library, asking the specters for books, or debating whether or not to get their familiar out to search an area. These seem to be conversations of the past that occurred in here.
Can I? Can I like pop my head out and ask a librarian for a little bit more information on this hallway?
The librarian brings you a scrap of paper that looks like it may have once served as for lack of a better descriptor, a tourist brochure that states the Hall of Echoes, a peculiar section of the library where if one whispers into the walls, the words echo back from different points in the past or future. Some may hear their own voices predicting dark fate, but others catch fragmented conversations of past visitors.
Interesting. Well, she'll pop back in the hallway and he'll kind of blurble a few more words out and see if he can catch anything more interesting. Let's be like
Kind of
Aduran, vampire boy.
listening around, you catch the fragment of a female voice saying, "Look, I suppose if you're here, you have better things to do than waste your lives trying to defeat me in some misguided effort of what you perceive as right. I suggest that you take the knowledge you've gleaned and leave, and neither of us have to waste our time any further."
Does the voice sound at all familiar?
No.
Yeah, he'll play around with it a little bit more, see if he can hear anything else that's interesting. But then he'll make his way back.
All right. You also catch a fragment of a male voice at this point, saying in Elvish something about Corellian's blessing.
Corellians?
Mm-hmm.
Do I know what that is?
Roll I'll tell you what, you can do an Arcana check, a history check, or a religion check.
We'll do Arcana.
All right.
Alright. I got 19.
19. You know that sometimes elves are blessed with something called the blessing of Corellian, which allows them to change their physical sex after a long rest.
Ah. Nice. Okay.
I bless thee with non-binary.
Gender fluid be upon me. Corellian is gender fluid, right?
Hey Gab, assigned gender fluid at birth.
You would also know that drow aren't really fond of this blessing, especially since most drow societies are heavily matriarchal, and if you can just change your sex at will, like that will fuck up the whole system.
Maybe the system deserves to be broken.
I mean, you know.
Okay.
All right. Anyone else?
If we're about done here, Aaron's gonna take out some. He's got some flower sketches and rubbings that he's got, and he's just gonna like put them up on the shelves.
All right. So where do you guys head next?
Were we going to do some shopping?
Might as
I
well.
Yeah, I thought we had gone over to the library because it was over by the market and a couple other things. So,
All right.
tourist day.
All right. Give me a second here. Okay. I'm going to run to the restroom and then we can start shopping. I've made a bunch of shops for you guys to explore.
I said tourists, but honestly, we could be terrorists.
Volk's having a terrorist day over here.
Hey, it's for a good reason.
That's what they all.
Most terrorists believe they are having a good reason for what they're doing. Generally, terror is inscribed for, reasons.
Well, yes, but she's not committing terror. She's just killing someone. The fact that the method of killing might be against the Geneva Convention, that's besides the point.
Just do like Demir and drop a void on top of Idurin's family.
That does remind me, I still want to do psychological warfare with Idurin's family by disguising everyone in the party as his family members when we go into the fight.
Oh, what the fuck?
Okay. So, shops. You can find a bunch of different places to visit. You are passing by the Church of the Raven Queen, which is a lovely cathedral type thing. There's a shop that kind of stands out to you guys, given that it doesn't seem to be as monochromatic as the rest of Shadowfell. There are like torches outside, kind of creating like this reddish glow, called the Infernal Menagerie. You also see a place called Nintas Pharmacy. There's a shop called the Raven's Hoard. There's one that's called the Umbral Forge. And then there's Netherbound Nexus.
I don't have money, but the Umbral Forge sounds cool.
All right. That is your average blacksmithy, but all ambient light seems to be constantly drawn towards the anvil. It is operated by a Duragar.
One of the spider drow you were talking about earlier.
No, under
Newer
dwarf.
dwarf. Yeah, dark dwarf, not Drider. A short, gray-skinned dwarf with dark hair and a dark beard, and his eyes seem to kind of glint like gold coins in the light of the forge.
Does he seem to have wares up and around?
Yeah, what does this master dwarf have?
Has a few magical weapons at his disposal. Let me pull up the list. So many D&D notes, so little time. Thinking about loading. Okay. Has some regular weapons as well as silvered weapons. He also has some armor and magical weapons. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm interested in what magical weapons he has.
Let's see. Got a +1 halberd, +2 javelin of warning, and those seem to be like the main things at the moment. He also has the armor of invulnerability.
What does
And
that do?
3 guesses.
the armor of invulnerability means you have resistance to non-magical damage. And additionally, you can use an action to make yourself immune to non-magical damage for 10 minutes or until you're no longer wearing the armor. Once the special action is used, it can't be used again until the next dawn.
Jesus fuck.
That's freaking crazy. How many tens of thousands of gold does it cost?
18,000 gold pieces.
That's actually less than I thought it would be. Still very expensive, but
You could always steal it.
He also has something called the Sword of Answering.
This is the part where us marshals wish we weren't broke.
Sword of Answering?
Yeah, I'm curious about the Sword of Answering.
Yes, the Sword of Answering. Let's see. You gain a +3 bonus to attack and damage rolls. In addition, while you hold the sword, you can use your reaction to make 1 melee attack with it against any creature in your reach that deals damage to you. And it has a nice shiny emerald in the pommel.
Interesting, but maybe not worth selling my soul over.
They have like Klarna or Afterpay for the.
This guy can see you guys are foreigners and is demanding pay up front.
What kind of financing options do they have?
Do they say accept alternative pay in the form of like teeth or bits of your soul or something?
If you're
How about an
looking
arm and
to
a
sell
leg?
bits of your soul, I'd recommend you head to the Infernal Menagerie Bostoy.
Look, if you give the guy an arm and a leg, I can regrow those for you.
How much what are we trying to look at for buying?
We're not actually buying anything. I made a joke
Okay.
that while the sword was interesting, it's not interesting enough to sell my soul over.
Cool. Sorry,
It's too
brain.
expensive.
Yeah.
That's okay. We can admire. What were the other shops again, DM?
Switching to the correct tab. There is the Netherbound Nexus, which seems to be more of like your average magic shop. There's the
I want to go there.
There's the Raven's Hoard, which sells enchanted jewelry, fine clothes with hidden enchantments, and potential artifacts. There's Nintaf's Pharmacy, which seems to be a potion shop. And then there's the Infernal Menagerie.
I want to go to all of these except for the pet store.
The Infernal Menagerie is not just a pet store. It also sells slaves.
Oh, yay!
Ooh.
Oh boy. How much
Anyway,
do you think we could get for Sniv? I mean, he knows how to blow stuff up. That's gotta be.
He's alchemically trained. He's got to be worth something.
He's like a semi-autonomous bomb.
so which one do you head to first?
Lush is most interested first for the jewelry, so.
All right. Let's see. That would be wondrous items. Oh, and I should also grab this. So it's not just jewelry, but it's let's see, Raven's Hoard, an opulent yet somber store filled with luxurious but macabre items. The Raven's Hoard features enchanted jewelry, fine clothes with hidden enchantments, and rare dark artifacts. The shop also offers services for crafting and enchanting. Is that what you're looking for?
Anything worth selling bits of souls
seems
for?
Fun. Yeah, is there anything in the display cases?
All right. So there's various like spooky trinkets around that you can get. There is, let's see. Oh my God, my computer keeps wanting to update and I keep having to say no. But you can see, like, uh, let's see. You could buy a bottle of invisible ink that can only be read at sunset. There is a jar of pickled ghoul's tongue. There's coffin nails and a music box that plays by itself whenever someone holding it dances. A black executioner's hood. Plague doctor mask. A pearl necklace that turns red under a full moon. All sorts of fun stuff like that. But in terms of magical items, thinking about loading again. There are you can find something called dimensional shackles. There are a couple of scrolls. There's in terms of clothes, you can find a hat of vermin and a hat of wizardry.
Vermin?
Vermin.
Vermin?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, vermin.
The hat of vermin. The hat has 3 charges. While holding the hat, you can use an action to expend one of its charges to speak a command word that summons your choice of a bat, a frog, or a rat. The summoned creature magically appears in the hat and tries to get away from you as quickly as possible. The creature is neither friendly nor hostile, and it isn't under your control. It behaves as an ordinary creature of its kind and would and disappears after 1 hour or when it drops to 0 hit points.
The dimensional shackles would certainly make it so the indefinite can't oof Aaron again.
There's also this lovely thing called the Robe of Eyes. It's available to you, which is a robe with eye-like patterns, and when you wear it, you gain the following benefits. The robe lets you see in all directions, and you have advantage on wisdom perception checks that rely on sight. You have dark vision to a range of 120 feet. You can see invisible creatures and objects, as well as see into the ethereal plane out to a range of 120 feet.
Oh, shit. That sounds pretty good.
Aaron is looking at that longingly.
What's the price tag on that thing?
Looking it up. That would be around 30,000 gold pieces.
Oh my god.
If you're looking for something a little cheaper, there's something called the Robe of Serpents that's also available. The Robe of Serpents would allow you to summon some danger noodles.
Mm.
So we have a magic item that gives you a combination of Demir's and Valk's eyes, and then we have a robe of literally just one of Lish's class features.
Snick.
Robe of Serpents is a stylish silk garment that is popular among wealthy nobles and retired assassins. The robe is emblazoned with 1d4 plus 3 stylized serpents, all brightly colored. Bonus action on your turn, you can transform one of the robe serpents into a giant poisonous snake. Snake instantly falls from the robe, slithers into an unoccupied space next to you, and acts on your initiative count. The snake can tell friendly creatures from hostile ones and attacks the latter. The snake disappears in a harmless puff of smoke after 1 hour when it drops to 0 hit points or when you dismiss it. No action required. Once detached, a snake can't return to the robe. When all of the robe snakes have detached, the robe becomes a non-magical garment.
Are there any jewelry items around?
Let's see. There are various rings available. There's the ring of jumping, ring of obscuring, ring of puzzler's wit, ring of swimming, ring of truth telling, rings of shared suffering.
Rings. The last 2 rings, actually, please.
Rings of shared suffering, and that was the ring of truth telling. Rings of shared suffering. These rings come in linked pairs. If you possess Mark of the Sentinel, you can use a bonus action to form a link to the creature attuned to the other ring. From then on, whenever the creature suffers damage, they only suffer that damage when you take the rest. This effect continues until you end it as a bonus action or until you or the other creature removes their ring. This effect isn't limited by range. A creature cannot be attuned to more than 1 ring of shared suffering. Then the ring of truth-telling. In wearing this ring, you have advantage on wisdom insight checks to determine whether someone is lying to you.
And the ring only goes one direction?
Which
or
one?
does it go both directions?
Which one?
Truth-telling ring?
No, the shared suffering.
No. What is shared
It goes
suffering?
both directions.
Both interesting. I don't think, again, worth selling bits of soul for.
Ring of Truth Telling costs about 600 gold pieces. And the Rings of Shared Suffering Rings of Shared Suffering cost um 1,600 gold pieces.
Individually or for a set?
For the set.
It wouldn't fix. Oh well, I suppose it could fix Valk's hit point problems if she paired up with Aaron, but I don't think Aaron would want to pour his hit points into the problem child. It's actually
Have
not
an
a bad
infinite well of
idea.
hit points to deal with. Then you can really wall it up.
The real question is, that would actually kind of be good for the squishies because it would keep both squishies up longer.
There's also an amulet of proof against detection location for 600 gold pieces, and an amulet of the devout +1 for 1,000 gold pieces.
I'm sorry, what's the devout thing?
Amulet of the Devout. This amulet bears a symbol of a deity inlaid with precious stones or metals. When you wear the holy symbol, you gain a bonus to spell attack rolls and saving throw DCs of your spells. This one has the symbol of the Raven Queen.
Cool, but wrong god.
You can always prestidigitate it to make it look different.
I don't think that's how the magic works.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know that's not how the magic works.
Well, there doesn't look like there's anything here that Lish can use. He looks a little disappointed. Oh well.
All right, so the other places you can drop into, Netherbound Nexus, which has like scrolls and spell books and whatnot, and there's Nintath's Pharmacy, which is the potion shop, and then there is the Infernal Menagerie.
I guess we can go to the scroll shop next.
All right. So the scroll shop is run by a Shadowspire man. He is happy to assist you guys. Let's see. He has a scroll of Cause Fear, scroll of Chill Touch, Create Bonfire, Dissonant Whispers, Entangle, Minor Illusion, Ray of Sickness, Sanctuary, Shield of Faith, Simulacrum, Staggering Smite, and Unseen Servant.
Unseen Servant's kind of handy.
That was 120 gold pieces.
Aaron's actually got some unseen servant. Charges himself.
Grandpa!
Just ask Grandpappy to do it. So just like I think this has probably already been covered, but I'm dumb. My understanding is that a tree is the only one who could like actually permanently learn the spell off of a scroll. Like,
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Wizards can consume the scroll in order to transcribe it into their spell book. The rest of you, how I deal with it is if you can cast spells of the level within the scroll, you can use it just fine. But it would consume the scroll.
Sanctuary spell scroll isn't too bad.
Yeah, Sanctuary would be helpful.
120 gold pieces.
Sweet Sanctuary.
That's 120 gold pieces.
Sanctuary. I mean, do we want to get that one? We can do it out of party funds.
I'd be down. None of us can cast it normally, so it would be handy.
Any objections?
It's not that expensive.
Going once, going twice.
Do it.
Sold.
Sold. I am buying the sanctuary scroll.
All right.
You want to keep that in your inventory, Avery?
Sure. I'll put it in the yeah, I'll put it in my inventory. Unless we want to give it to E3. But
He can't cast it, I don't think. It's not a wizard spell. But he could transcribe it for us into more spell scrolls, I guess, if we wanted to. I don't know if he can put it even in like his wizard book, if that's how that works.
He cannot put it into his wizard book, but he can cast it once using the scroll if you wanted him to.
Wait, are we talking about Sanctuary?
yeah.
Sanctuary.
Oh, Val can just prep that.
Oh.
Can she? It's a cleric and a artificer spell, it says.
Cleric 2nd level, right?
First level.
Then very much yes.
Oh, okay. Then
I didn't realize Volk had cleric levels.
6 of them, in fact.
Yeah, if I remember
thought you
correctly,
were
Cleric
Paladin.
was Valk's base class. Then she
Oh,
picked
okay.
up Paladin under, I think, Devotion for Demir initially, and then later
Yeah.
Sorcerer.
Okay.
So she was originally a cleric.
I joined the party as a cleric pally multi-class, and then have been slowly increasing. I first increased cleric, then I took a couple levels in source, and then I swapped back to focusing on pally after devoting to Demir. I am now done leveling pally. I got 2 more levels of cleric and 2 more levels of sorcerer to go.
Do you want to be prepping Sanctuary then, or is there other things that you would be better off prepping, is the thing?
I can prep a metric shit ton of spells since I can prep for both cleric and pally.
okay. So should I retcon we didn't buy the scroll then? Or do we want to have an extra
sorry,
scroll
that makes sense to retcon and save that money for other things.
Okay, then I'll undo that.
Okay.
All right. Some of the more exciting spells that spell scrolls that were available to you were Simulacrum and Staggering Smite. But if no one's interested, we can move on to the next shop.
Well, let me look it up real quick.
The simulacrum is fun. We can make
also
little
expensive.
snow guys. How many snow demirs do we need running around?
The one we have is
What, you mean you don't want like 50 demirs running around causing issues?
Man out of snow and ice is very on theme.
It really is.
Demir, like, yeah, I cast spell of you're going to die of frostbite in the next few hours, and then just like a swarm of ice Demirs just show up and start beating someone up.
Does it have like spells? Like what can it do aside from just be there and run around? Let's see. Well, you can make it just like a person, and just with half of the creature's hit point maximum, with no equipment. it's not super clear if it has like the same stats.
It does have the same stats as you.
Oh.
Or
Can they
whoever
cast
ends
the
up
same? Can they cast spells?
Yeah, they can
Yeah.
cast everything, I think, except for your highest level.
Oh. That might be pretty OP.
That's why simulacrums are fucked. They're great, but they're fucked.
Yeah, they basically turn your note keeping up to an 11 when you're a wizard, but they're kind of busted if you know what you're doing.
I mean, how much is the simulacrum spell scroll? How
A lot.
expensive is it? Yeah. Like how much?
It's like, what, a 7th level spell?
I think
Yeah.
it's
I dropped it
Eighth
into
or
the
ninth.
chat. 28,200 gold pieces.
Jesus.
Everything's so expensive. Okay. Well, I mean, I guess nothing.
Okay. The next shop choices are the Infernal Menagerie and the pharmacy.
Go to the potion shop.
Yes. Nintath Pharmacy, there it is. Small potion shop run by a Shatterkai woman named Nintath. She has gray skin, gray eyes, short white hair, and a wooden prosthetic left arm.
Go in and say hello.
All right. So there is a potion of animal friendship, a potion of clairvoyance, a potion of fire breath, potion of hill giant strength.
We should probably get that.
Hill giant strength is only 200 gold pieces.
Arm wrestle you for it? Actually, wait, no. What isn't Hill's giant strength just like 20 or something?
Something like that.
I think it's the lowest of the different giant strengths, but anything is good to stock up on. Are there any other giant strength ones, or just that one?
Oh, just that one. Potion of Hill Giant Strength. When you drink this potion, your strength score changes to 21 for 1 hour. She has some various healing potions. She also has a potion of heroism.
Those are handy.
There's a potion of cold resistance, a potion of water breathing.
Cold resistance might be decent to have for later.
200 gold pieces.
I would say the hill giant and the cold resistant seem like good purchases.
The fire breath doesn't seem too bad either.
Hill giant and cold resistance are 200 each. Potion of fire breath also 200.
Fire breath lets you breathe out a thing of fire on people.
That's dope.
4d6 fire damage on a failed save. And you can breathe out 3 times. Kind of nice. Bonus action too.
Yeah.
There's also
Would be
very
good
good healing
against-
potions that you can get if you like.
I think we're
Are
good
there
on
any-
healing.
Superiors, the really
There is
good one,
there
the top
is
ones.
a superior. The top one is supreme healing, which she does not have, but she does have a superior potion of healing, which is 2,750 gold pieces.
Ugh.
Small price to pay for hit point.
We have a lot of healing potions, so I think we're good on that. But Aaron, what is your strength score?
Aaron is currently rocking a 19 due to gauntlets of ogre strength, and Valk's is 18. So we're both at a +4, and the giant strength would be a +5. And Hawk is a dex-based fighter and has troubles drinking potions.
Okay. I mean, I think that it would be a good purchase, but I don't know if you guys want to buy it individually or if we want to do party funds and then two of
I
you
have no
just-
issues with using party funds. Valk would not spend the money on it for just a +1. If it was a higher giant strength, she would be fighting to the death with Aaron for it.
Yeah. Pretty much the same feelings here.
Okay, so if you guys are just kind of bleh about it, we don't have to get it.
Instead, just get the fire breathing and the cold resist, maybe. Those would both be assets in our fight if we fight in the winter court.
Yeah, I agree.
I was about to say, cold resistance and fire damage sound like they go pretty hard if we're storming Fiola's castle.
It's not
Okay.
Viola's.
It is right now. We're going to fix that.
Okay, I will purchase the 2 potions with party funds.
Okay.
And 1 potion fire breathing, 1 potion hold. Does anyone want to hold on to them, or should I just keep them? Lish has
Who's like the most? Who's the most sensitive to the cold with our current setups?
Valk has a ring of warmth specifically for this.
I don't think it would be a question of who's the most sensitive, but rather who doesn't have something to counteract it. Because I don't think between everyone we have anyone who has specifically a cold vulnerability.
No, but as you said, I have cold resistance already. Volk's got a ring of warmth. Maybe Demir. I don't think Demir has anything specifically to ward off cold.
I
right now.
think the two of you are the only ones who do.
Yeah, I have resistance to cold actually. Cold
Oh.
damage.
Oh, good.
Okay, so it's
Yeah,
between-
remember someone made a deal.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be between, I guess, just Toby and Irin at that point, because Hawk can't use a potion in combat unless he polymorphs in advance. Unless
Toby
we're
and
willing
Aaron.
that he can smash the flask against his face and the metal soaks it in or something. But that seems a little
I feel like if he opened up his chest plate and splashed it on his gears, that would work. Eh?
Friggin', instead of a potion, I just treat it as machine oil.
Exactly.
Grease up my gears with healing potion.
Yeah, what do you think, DM?
I'm joking
Can
around.
Warforged
I think
just
it's perfectly fine for Hawk to not be able to use potions.
dump it on his head.
I
I
mean, you
would
can use
think-
them if you're in your person form.
Yeah, that's what I mean with polymorphing ahead of time. But in his true form, the robot form, it feels like a fair trade-off for not needing air or food or water.
I mean, I'll noodle on it. I'll do some.
It's
research.
not. It's not
also,
important.
it doesn't seem fair that you're not able to drink potions in combat.
And he is still
Well, it's fair.
able
It's
to
not
get
something I
damage
necessarily
from
mind because I
poison.
haven't had to use one.
He was still able to get poison from the air poison stuff, so.
Well, we flavored that as like corrosion and stuff. Technically speaking, Hawk is actually immune to things like cloud kill via racial trait.
I think
I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah.
I'll think about it. Anyway, people are buying potions.
I was gonna say, since Aaron is the one that usually gets in close proximity, it might be best for Aaron to have it in case there's like an Armor of Agathis situation. Toby can usually keep distance.
That's fair.
Toby tends to stay back anyway.
Yeah.
Given that he's an archer.
So, Aaron, you get the potion of cold resist.
Woohoo!
And you know, I feel like just it would be fucking funny. I kind of want to give the potion of fire breath to Volk.
Phoenix? DIY Phoenix?
Well, I am just kind of like, with all of the feathers.
Here.
Whenever Volk returns, I will inform that she has the fire breathing potion.
All right. Are there any other potions that y'all would like to get?
No.
All right.
I'm good.
So the last shop was the Infernal Menagerie, which has creatures from the Shadowfell as well as slaves from Hell. Is that
Anybody want a demon?
Is that somewhere you would want to go?
I don't think so.
I kind of want to look at the creatures of the Shadowfell.
Why, so you can buy one?
Go look.
I just want to look.
Okay.
I say in the voice of someone who is probably going to walk out with a pet. Anyway.
Okay.
The shopkeeper's going to be like, this thing only feeds on the souls of the innocent. And Demir's going to be like, I want 5.
So you head into the Infernal Menagerie, and the shop owner is a Cambion. He sticks out like a sore thumb among the relatively monochromatic citizens of the Shadowfell. He has deep red skin, large horns, curved, pointed ears, and burning orange eyes. Twin wings sprout from his back. He has a spade-tipped tail, and he wears regal clothing and is here as a representative of the Nine Hells to sell slaves to the people of the Shadowfell. He has some people in cages in his little shop, including a goblin, a gnoll, a female elf, a male elf, male human, another male human, female human, female human, female human, female tiefling, another female tiefling, and a male tiefling. In addition, he has some creatures from the Shadowfell. There are 2 shadow mastiff whelps. There's 3 little kind of bitey creatures that look like lampreys with legs. There's a little bird cage with 5 crawling claws, and one cage with a really kind of gross looking creature that looks kind of bat-like, with its entire body consisting entirely of rotting sheets of flayed skin. And the Cambion, he treats you with the utmost grace and regality that he feels you deserve.
I think oh, sorry.
Valk is literally just sitting there just like, how much trouble would I get into?
Yeah, when Demir,
you were given the potion of fire breathing, by the way.
Oh, okay.
I think it would be very fun to see flames coming out of that face, you know?
Be afraid, brah.
There's just so much potential. Yeah, so I think when Demir first comes in the shop, she starts flirting with the demon, and then she notices the people in the cage and she stops flirting. Doesn't become cold or anything, just kind of backs off of the flirt. And
it's been a long time since people have come through here that are not of this plane.
We're just traveling through. I was wondering about creatures of this realm. Obviously, we are travelers, so what are those little beasties?
A fair amount of creatures I can provide to you. I have here 2 shadow masters that could be trained to be good hunting dogs for you. I also have these little creatures. They are known as the wretched. He refers to the little lamprey beasties that are about the size of chickens.
Why are they? Why does that sound so cute but so awful?
The cuteness is coming.
Oh, wait a minute. Wretched. That was one of the creatures that was in your book, Hawk. That is what they look like. Oh my god, why are they so cute?
They are rather fascinating creatures. They are very small and they can be good for distraction. Perhaps if you are looking to lure out a larger prey.
Possibly. I mean, we are...
Same thing with these ones here. And he points at the cage with his long fingers and claws towards the crawling claws, which are basically just hands. They picture a cage of things from the Addams family, just all crawling over each other.
Oh my god, like crabs in a bucket.
Yeah, pretty much. These ones can also be helpful for seeking distraction, perhaps luring things out, or triggering traps so that they do not harm. They are easily obtained and easily disposable. And this one, and he points towards the bat-like creature with a body of that looks like it's made of a flayed leather skin. This is very creatively called the skin bat. It is good if you are hunting quarries in the air.
Oh, well, we might be. We're after something big. But, how much are these creatures?
The shadow mastiffs are about 500 good pieces. Sarosworn the wretched, 100 each. Crawling claws, 30 gold pieces. And the skin bat is 200. If you're looking for something a little more durable, I have some fine specimens here. And he kind of nods towards a couple of the slaves in particular.
Aaron is gonna shoot a message to Volk, saying, "We're feeling the same way about this place, right?" And then a message to Demir, saying, "Are you really going to buy something from the guy with people in cages?"
No, of course not. The immediate message response back. Like, not even a hesitation, just like the immediate telepathic message of like, no, of course not.
Aaron
But she
visibly
is like,
relaxes slightly.
she
I
is doing
have
the
some
whole like, interesting, maybe, let's think about our needs, sort of like backing
I
away
have
a
some
little
good
bit.
deals I can provide for rare creatures to yourself. The goblin there is he's cheap. He's easy to come by. So I can sell it for about 50 gold. The knoll is also a laborer for 100. The female elf and the male elf, they are more art pieces, decoration for your home. Female would be 130 and the male 120. The human laborer, this one is a little older, so he is to wear out soon. 135 and then 140 for the younger citizen. The housework for female humans, 150 gold pieces each. But this human here has provided my lord with children before, so she is worth a bit more as 160. The female tiefling can be used for pleasure, 200 each, and the male tiefling, very strong labor, 220.
Demir just kind of like, and kind of starts like doing the little like, oh, I'm going to walk over here and look at the things away from the shopkeeper. And like specifically, she's going to go over to wherever Lish is and just kind of like in Sylvan under her breath, like, do you think we want to like spend the gold? Get him out?
Unless she'll just say we don't really have a way of getting them home safely right now.
No.
The transportation to and from this plane requires, I believe I have to go with it, right? So, and it costs a lot of money and it's a little difficult for right.
Got a character question. Does the traveler consume the forks that you need to attune to the plane?
No.
Okay, so if you have one for the material plane, you have one for the Shadowfell. So you
Yeah.
could theoretically back and forth, but it would take time, especially since you need to
Yeah,
rest to get your
well,
slots
and
back.
every time I transport myself between planes, something could go wrong. So
Yeah.
if I came back and I'm like 1,000 something miles
we need
away
like
from where I
we need like some sort of mass plane or teleport, which I don't think we have
It's-
access to at all.
I
If you
think
had the send people to paradise for a few days thing, so we could send them off there.
I have
Uh,
a
So
solution.
much money. That was so much gold.
Oh
for nothing.
goddamn
His
much
solution?
money.
The demi-plane.
Can they just
Wait,
look in there?
wait. There is
Fine.
something we could do, actually. Hang on.
Yeah, they can just hang out in the demi-plane for a few days until we're
Oh,
back on the
I don't mean
material
that.
plane.
I mean, like, there's actual
Drinking
portals
the
between
cup.
the Shadowfell and the real world, right?
We don't know where any of them are.
But wasn't there like a map somewhere that like
That might be something that the library has. We
I
could go
remember I
back.
think I vaguely remember a mention of like some sort of map that had the portal locations but it kept changing. I don't know. I might be
Yeah.
misremembering that hard
Don't think
terribly. I
We
probably
could always
remember that there
for the
were-
Fey hole.
Yeah, there were areas that it was
that's
worse, but
yeah.
yeah, I mean, the Fey-hole, demi-plane, they all work as options if we want to, but
Yeah, but like I said in Discord, like, I'm not sure if sending them to the Winter Court would be a better idea.
we don't know where the
necessarily
Fey-hole
send you
goes.
directly to the Winter Court.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
We don't
it
know.
was
We don't
given to
know
us-
where the Fey-hole goes. It can
Yeah.
go anywhere.
It was
Honestly, it's a
given
good
to
way to
us-
test it.
It was
There's a
given to us by
25
Yola.
There's a 25% chance that they will arrive in the Winter Court.
That's true. But since it was given to us by
chance they will
Fiola, I
end up
was going to
elsewhere.
assume that it would put us somewhere in the Winter Court, preferably somewhere where Fiola could control us.
How does Eitree's dimension work? Can people stay in there, or do they have to come out when it closes?
They can stay in there.
Oh,
They will need food, but they can stay in there.
So we can pick
They
up
have
a stock of food
coffee.
and just shove them in the hole temporarily.
With a coffee fountain, nothing can go wrong.
I mean, how many people are there altogether, and how much would that run us all together? Because it just seems like it might be too much.
11,
Yeah,
12,
I mean, we wouldn't be
12
able
people. Let me do the math for all the people.
I don't think we would be able to buy everyone.
How many people are
but
there?
12.
I just said 12 people.
I could technically help. Great food and water is a spell that Hawk has access to.
This guy's just gonna go grab more people is the thing. So it's
That is
like
true.
there's not much of a point when the cycle won't be broken by feeding the guy who's stealing people money.
Yeah,
Obviously, we can't break the cycle, but we could help these people in front of us. That's what Valk would do, and even if she has to just help one or two by herself, that's kind of what she wants to do at this point.
To buy all of them, it would be 1,755 gold pieces.
I mean, we could certainly afford it out of the party fund, but I don't think that that's the best use of our money.
Because then we'd also have to dedicate 2 of Eitree's spell slots so that we can 2 of Eitree's spell slots and 1 of Hawk's to keep them fed and sustained while we do stuff.
No, the portal
And
stays open
presumably-
for an hour, so we have an hour to move stuff back and forth to get them set
Okay,
up,
fair-
so we would
okay,
only have to
fair
use
enough.
it once.
So it would be, well, the thing is, created food and water only lasts for 24 hours. So I would have to keep going in and recasting it.
Or we could just, buy food and water.
You could drop them in the Feywild.
Also that, but I'm not sure if we want to just like dump them in random court.
Throw them in the Fey hole. Nothing could go wrong.
I mean, of course you would advocate for it.
Like I said, it's a good way of testing if the Fey-hole works or is just a way to shove us into Fiola's prison. Like, shove these randos through the Fey-hole and be like, "Are you in prison? No? Cool."
I'm just trying to think things through here. I do have great food and water. That is an option. I'm just throwing it out there. I just realized I ticked down Hawk's 3rd level spells instead of Zelda's 3rd level spells. Oops. I was wondering why that was 0.
All right.
No, it's the Jones. It is the Jones. What?
I am certainly of the opinion that we can try and buy a few of them their freedom, or we can walk away from this. But yeah, that's Demir is basically asking Lish, like, should we try to intervene or should we just get out?
He's
We
kind of
can't
like,
do everything.
it's like, are you planning on killing the demon?
No. Of course not.
Well, of course not. Why? Because he's pretty.
No. Because
No.
I'm not going to kill a random shopkeeper in this town in broad daylight. That would be stupid.
I ever say anything about killing him in his shop in broad daylight?
Fair. But
Also, it wouldn't be a permanent death.
Well, it would stop him for a while, so.
all we need is for him to team up with the Rakshasa. We can have more reoccurring demons on our hand.
I guess it just extrapolates our need to go to the hell.
I had another out of character thought, but it's a big gamble. Hawk knows banishment.
Banish the shopkeeper, and then
If he fails the charisma save, which I don't think he would be sent back to the Nine Hells.
I also have silvery barbs. Also, how long would it take him to get back?
That's the other question, really.
you would think that a person who has established a shop probably has a really quick and easy way back and forth between the hells and his shop, given that he is selling slaves from the hells in his shop.
Bulk's doing the personal math and is kind of leaning towards we need to at least get the tiefling and the art pieces out. Because, like...
Which tiefling? There are three of them.
Multiple.
You could just take them all. It's, what, 1,000 something?
1,700.
1,755.
Yeah.
Well, Valk's willing to throw 500 at this.
I mean, we could take 500 from the party funds.
Well, that means other people would have to throw 700 in still.
Is Aaron, I'll ask.
Dove died.
She said that Aaron's going to advocate for doing as much as we can.
I'll ask.
Does Aaron have, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Fine, then.
All
There you go.
Well.
Does Eitri have access to his plane to just put these people in right away?
We would want to pick up food first.
I suppose that they can cast it. We can find a safe space. Perhaps if we take them back to our hotel room that we rented, I can set it up there to make sure that no one else tries to enter.
I think that's a good plan.
Might draw attention for, just like a quick head count, 12 people to march into a bedroom and then disappear, but
Well, this
why
is
not?
our last day in the city, so
Well, we could always throw our rations in there with them and then get more food for ourselves.
Yeah, we have rations and
we're
we
we're
can
literally in a
acquire
market. We could probably
rations.
buy 100 gold pieces worth of rations, even if they're shitty rations for them.
Or does somebody want to go run and do that? Well,
I mean, I am
The
able to
deal
conjure
is
some,
settled.
I think. It'll last for a good while.
Well, so that'll feed them for today, and then we can buy them mundane stuff for the next few days.
Yeah, we don't know how long it'll take for us, so I think it is better to provide them as much sustainable food for more than 24 hours. But I think the first 24 hours Hawk can provide.
Yep. Volk throws 400 at the mirror for buying purposes and grabs Hawk with the other 100 to go buy as much shit food as they can.
We're not shit.
Okay.
Not ultra shit, but like
Yeah.
most bang for the buck.
Thrifty shopping. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Is I suppose then is Aaron providing the rest, or do we want to take the 500 out of the party fund?
It sounds like Aaron was willing to share or spend the 755. Or wait, no, that would be 855 if other people can, but if other people want to reimburse them somewhat, that can happen at a later date once we have Dove here for the actual haggling.
Yes, we really should see if we're going to get a deal on all of this, if they're willing to.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say. So,
Demir, work your magic.
well,
Not that magic.
after like we kind of do our little huddle and decide that we're going to do this, Demir will go back over to the shopkeep and just well, my after speaking to my husband and my compatriots, we are in need of both laborers and decoration for our home. So, how much would you be willing to cut us a deal if we took your whole stock?
Roll persuasion check.
Pussy power, come on! Ooh, persuasion?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Let me make sure that I have. Okay, that is a 29.
All right. I suppose that I would be willing to give you a discount. How about a total of 1,404?
That sounds amenable.
A 20% discount.
Yeah, I'll take it. Sure, 20%. That sounds like a deal.
Very well.
How are we to receive our purchases? Are you willing to make a delivery? We have some shopping still to do.
I can provide a delivery. I can also acquire some chains for you if you wish to have them on display. One.
No need for that. We want to keep our profile a little lower, if that makes any sense.
Of course. And where shall I send your new toys? Once
We have a room. We have a room at the Restful Range. Is that what it was called? Restful Roost. I was close. We have a room at the Restful Roost. It's booked under Wild Roses. If there's a way to arrange for discreet delivery.
I think that can be arranged.
Excellent. Demir will give him a little handshake. Shake on it.
All right. His hand is very warm and almost kind of stings you with its heat, but it does actually harm you.
Demir is just going to honestly, just like as she like shakes his hand and it's hot, it's that kind of instinctual ice magic that forms around her hand, like the white edges of her mendie kind of do that frost growth for a moment there. So there's a little bit of steam on the handshake, but
All right. He kind of smirks a little as you do so, and then I assume you leave the shop.
Yep. Gonna go
All right.
try and help with the grocery acquisition. Well, that felt gross.
I don't envy you. We'll at least have these people somewhere safer.
Yep. I mean, we can't do much, but at least these 12 we can aid.
Well done, you guys. I like providing you with dilemmas. You did handle that very well, I think.
Look, Demir is not she is corrupt systems exist all over the place. We can't do anything about it, but we can do something about the things that are in front of us.
No. Throw money at the problem.
Yeah, just throw money at it.
I was interested to see how you guys would handle that.
The other option was get kicked out of the city at best after inciting a rebellion of sorts.
You could have tried to sneak in and pickpocket for the key to the cage. You could have just bought one of them. You could have ignored the problem. Like, there are lots of things you guys could have done. And I think, again, you guys handled it really well. So you guys are going to buy a bunch of rations?
Yeah.
Starting to get some food beyond the admittedly tasteless stuff that Hawk can make.
Let's see if we can get like a week's worth of rations for a dozen people.
So 1 day worth of rations is 5 silver pieces.
Okay,
for one person.
5 times 12.
60. That's 12 and then 7.
420. So
Nice.
420 silver. Yeah. Nice.
That's 42 gold.
Oh, so Val can just handle food.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Guess who had 42 gold pieces in their small denominations?
Is it you?
It is me, so I now have an even 800 gold left.
Oh, I just realized I'm gonna actually need something to hold 30 gallons of water.
They have the fountain.
I mean, they have the fountain. Yeah.
Oh, are we using Ichi's plane?
I think that was the plan.
That's
I think
the
it's
the only
best
place
solution
we
we
really
got.
have for them.
Everywhere else we could send them is at least mildly dangerous to
We
get
can
or
send them
to
down
be
the
at.
Fey hole, yeah. Either down the Fey hole or we risk a happenstance across planes, and I would rather not risk Lish getting string theoried over nothing.
Yeah. The one
Lish
like the one
getification.
downside of using Eitree's plane is that we won't be able to use it today, which is a pretty small price, to be honest.
We have a hotel.
I don't think we were planning on using it today.
Just, if
Unless
there's like
we
an emergency situation.
Yeah, unless we want to crash in the demi-plane instead of sleeping in the prime material plane, but that wastes his high-level spell for the next day too.
Mm-hmm.
Versus just doing it once and then sleeping on it. So personally, I'm in favor of putting them in the demi-plane.
Yeah. I think I am too.
Well, hopefully they understand once we explain to them what's going on. I've never fought a person before. That felt really icky.
That's good on both accounts.
And what we're doing here, while it doesn't solve the bigger picture, does make a dozen people's lives better, and that's not something to shirk out. And for that, I'm proud of you, Demir.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, it seemed more like a collective choice than a choice that I made individually. So it feels a little weird to be congratulated on, but okay.
You're the one that helped make it cheaper, and you're the one who shook the fucker's hand, so...
Yeah.
And the one who wasn't, like... Yeah, I'm not going to continue talking.
Eowyn's golf clapping at Demir.
Please don't.
Right. So, is there anything else you wish to accomplish in town, or do you head back to your room for the evening?
Unless we want to check out the Raven Queen temple. We were told it was worth looking at.
Pass through it, I suppose.
I'm curious.
On our way back.
Okay. So, the Church of the Raven Queen here in town, atop a slight rise, kind of standing out against the rooftops of the houses around it. It's a gray, sort of sagging edifice of stone and wood. The church has obviously been weathered much since it was built and is kind of worn and weary. A bell tower rises towards the back, and a pale, flickering light shines through holes in the shingled roof. The rafters strain feebly against their load, but inside there is a statue of a masked woman with a feathered cloak, her arms open as if welcoming people to the temple. And you can see that it's being tended by two people. There is a Shadowspire man with pale gray skin, dark eyes, and white hair. And there is a drow woman with purplish gray skin, long white hair that with ends dyed black and turquoise eyes.
Hawk sort of like leans in towards Falk and he's like, do you know anything about the Raven Queen? Because I don't.
Wrong button. Is that a religion check to see how much?
Sure. Sorry, my son wants to play fetch with me, as cats normally want.
That would be a 7. I guess she was sleeping through the Raven Queen day in school.
I mean, you know that she's a goddess of death.
And do I know rough alignment at least?
No.
So like,
goddess of death?
The good kind or the bad kind?
I think I might have fell asleep during that class.
Hawk just like nudges her with his elbow and then just leans back out.
So, the drow woman approaches you guys, and her voice is kind of accented in Elvish. Welcome. If you wish to stop and pray, this is a welcome space for all.
Falk leans back over. That's a good sign.
Good.
We were told that we should check out the temple. We are travelers.
You are welcome here. Unfortunately, our temple is not as grand as it once was since the Ebony Ends took over, but all are welcome here.
Is the Lord of the City not favorable to the Queen?
Religion is not his priority. It's important to the Shadowkai and to many who travel here to the Shadowspire. But it is not the priority of the Lord of this town. But we make do with what we can.
Can I insight check? When she says priority, does she mean like underfunding under interest, or does she mean like he is against it? Like I'm curious.
Roll an insight check.
What does she mean by that? Real fast. All right. That is, oh God. I can't math today. Nope, that's not right. Okay, that's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. You can tell from the way she's talking that the vampiric dragon, religion is tolerated for him. His focus is more on how can I keep the economy running so that I can have more money for my hoard in this city that I rule.
Okay, cool. So it literally is just not prioritized. All right.
Like, he's not a fan of it necessarily, but he's willing to allow the continued existence of this temple to keep the Shadowkai residents of towns placated.
I see. Cool.
Almost like vampires don't like religion.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I doubt the Queen of Death is really hype about an undead vampire dragon either.
And at the same time, I doubt the undead vampire dragon is very hyped about the concept of death.
Probably not.
Nevertheless, you are welcome here in the temple. You may pray. I'm not sure how many of you speak Elvish, but that is the language of our priest. I can translate if necessary. I am a disciple of Larin.
Excellent. Thank you.
And Demir was speaking to her in Elvish.
All right.
Turns back to the group and translates for those who need it.
Hawk does have his mask on. I don't remember if that was like something that was related to Rosania's Locan, but like, you're not from this place or not? But just out of curiosity.
Are you asking the drow?
No. I'm saying this out of character. I'm making that statement out of character that Hawk is wearing the mask, and I remember like, Rosania said something about like, you're not from this place. It might have been because of the bracelet in the song. I don't know. It's not.
So if you had any questions about the Raven Queen or wanted to learn a bit more about her, this would be the place to ask.
Oh, but I'm curious.
All right.
Does Hawk speak Elvish?
Yeah, he speaks Elvish.
You come from the fucking Elvish side of the comp.
Also, Drow speaks Common, and she is saying that she can translate for the Shadowspire priest.
Yeah. If Valk isn't listening in, Hawk will speak with Elvish so that it's more comfortable for her. But otherwise, maybe just Common would be a good idea.
No, Valk speaks Elvish as well. She was going to help you if you didn't, and then I remembered that you're from the fucking Elvish side of the country.
It's okay, it doesn't come up very often. He also speaks Sylvan, and that also doesn't come up very often, surprisingly. It's probably going to in the future. Okay, cool. We'll chat with her in Elvish then.
She talks about how much of the path of the Raven Queen is shrouded in mystery. There are many conflicting reports written about her, and it's unclear if any are true or if they're all true. But the most common thread seems to be that she was once a mortal elvish queen who saw a destructive feud between two gods and wished to try to stop it. However, the ritual to achieve this was sabotaged by some of the people in whatever kingdom she hailed from in order for themselves to gain more power. And as such, the queen was cursed during that ritual, and she cursed them. That curse was enough to kind of corrupt the ritual she was trying to achieve. And for a brief moment, she was taken to the Shadowfell and died. But the piece of divinity and divine power that she was able to achieve before the ritual failed was enough to keep her intact. And she rose again into the deity now known as the Raven Queen. And the Raven Queen is said to have a fortress somewhere within the Shadowfell called the Fortress of Memory. It's said to be very mournful, with echoes of people, places, and pets that inhabit the space. But despite the apparent gloomy appearance of the fortress, she's seen as a largely benevolent goddess, and those who wait outside of her fortress are believed to be petitioners. She's believed to be the closest goddess to mortals, both literally and metaphorically, given that, firstly, she knows what it is to be mortal and to experience death, and secondly, there's the fact that she largely resides here within the inner sphere rather than in one of the outer spheres like other gods. She is seen as like a guardian of the transition between life and death, and that can be both comforting and frightening. She's not the goddess of death, she is the goddess of the moment that someone passes.
Interesting.
And the Shadowkai, given that she is a goddess who resides in the Shadowfell, they all for the most part revere her.
Do you know where her fortress lies?
I'm afraid it is a mystery. She will sometimes invite those to her fortress by making it visible, but for what I hope are obvious reasons, she tries to maintain a modicum of distance.
How does one go about making a petition?
Prayer, mostly. That is our belief, at least.
You know, the mirror switches, turns to the group and is just kind of like, it might be interesting to try with the situation with Mistra. I think that there might be some value to be gained from a goddess who is already familiar with mortality.
Good
Art might
point.
wonder if she'd help us with our Phoenix problem.
Or there is that, but I assume that that sort of aid is usually reserved for the devoted.
Oh, true. I wouldn't be surprised if she has an interest in seeing an undead creature that continually just sort of cheats death, in a sense. An undead creature that keeps being reborn. She might have some stake in seeing it sort of put to rest or restored or something. Maybe she needs a piece of it.
Possibly.
Well, any divine aid from a benevolent god would be welcome, so I say we try praying.
You are the religious sort.
That I am.
Lead the prayer.
Okay, I do ask one of the local priestesses if there's anything in particular that is typically offered when beseeching the goddess.
It is difficult because she is a goddess that watches over fate. So something that you feel represents yourself, your friends, which is probably assist in the ritual.
I'm sorry, I'm too tired for cryptic shit this morning.
As the goddess of fate, something you feel that represents you.
Okay.
And your friends.
Give me a moment to ponder that. Lish, can you generate a rose for me?
What are you gonna give me for it?
I don't know. Fucking a feather, a smooch? What the fuck do you want, Fey man?
Your
What I want is
firstborn child.
what I want is for you to take it down a notch. Gosh. All right, he can craft you a rose.
Thank you. At which point, Valk, just fucking shoves thumb onto it so it's pricked with blood, and then starts, praying, beseeching the Raven Goddess for wisdom and aid in their endeavors to save Mistra and reality.
So, we can do this one of two ways. Either we can have everyone in the party, assuming that they're taking part in this ritual to try to contact the Raven Queen, make a religion check, or Valk can make it with advantage.
How's your religion score look?
Since for whatever reason, religion is intelligence when every class uses wisdom involved with religion, I only have a +5.
That is kind of weird now that you mention it. Though I guess it is a knowledge check, so intelligence makes sense. But at the same time, like,
I would be down to either all of us participate in the ritual or like give Volk advantage, but I think that all of us participating might have a bigger chance.
Yeah, let's all participate.
let's make a kumbaya circle.
Kumbaya. Kumbaya. We all die the little death.
I will roll for Tobias.
So what are we rolling here?
If I could get bardic inspiration from,
yeah.
since, I'm the religious person.
Yeah. I'll give you a bardic inspiration. Hell, I'll give Lish a bardic inspiration.
I'm guessing this isn't something I can choose to instead
Although,
assist with. So
we
I'll
could
go for
just
religion.
We're all doing it.
Yeah.
Or we could just dump every single ad we got on Valk and then give advantage.
It's true.
Guidance, bardic inspiration.
I think those are the only two that we.
Yeah, I think those are the only two we got.
Is there anything that ups intelligence?
I have the whatever the one spell is, I guess. I don't know that I have that prepared today, though.
Yeah. Enhance ability.
I do from one of my classes.
Cool.
Okay. I'm going to give Volk a bardic. I'm going to give Lish a bardic. I'm going to give Toby a bardic.
Okay.
And I'll give Aaron a bardic.
Bardic is an 8.
Yeah.
1d8, yes.
You know what? I'm probably going to cast
Tobias,
enhance
what the
ability
fuck?
on me anyway.
Okay. So that's a 31 for Tobias.
Hot damn.
And what's your
Actually,
bardic again, Demir?
1d8. That's a 27 for Demir. Holy shit.
Okay.
Oh, I rolled well. 18, 24, 29.
Nice.
Okay.
26 for Aaron.
God damn, you guys. Okay. Lish?
It's a religion check, correct?
Yes.
I got a 13.
Same.
Okay. So that all averages out to 23. So, as you all sit around this rose and pray and think of your own fates, and think of Mistra, think of the Raven Queen, you all find yourself standing in the darkness. All together, you can see each other. It's quiet, it's cold, it's dark. But as you wait, the form of a woman starts to approach your group. And that's where we'll call session.
Woo!
Spooky.
We're gonna talk with the queen, guys.
All right.
We talk to a queen most days.
Yeah. Excuse? You have a queen in your party.
And what are you
Wow.
the queen of? Bad decisions?
Yes.
Oh,
We've already
good.
established this.
We actually have 2 queens in our party.
Who's the second one?
I retract my joke.
All right, you guys. Thanks for playing.
Thank you for
Thank
setting all this up. Giving
Thank
us
you, as always.
Yeah.
neat little
GG.
situations.
GG.
I'll see you next time. Oh, although next time people are like skipping out on us, right? Yeah.
Yeah, next
Lots.
week
People are,
we
people are
won't.
getting
something out
fuckers.
three people are getting stolen. Yeah,
Losers
Yeah.
having social lives.
it's okay. We'll find. We could probably find a different way to hang out.
It's Hobbit Day, man.
Damn.
Hobbit Day.
Wait, what are you even doing on Hobbit Day? Like, how do you celebrate Hobbit Day?
By
Just be
eating all the
Hobbit?
Hobbit meals. You start your day with breakfast, and then you eat second breakfast, and then you have 11
I
days,
see. So
and
you're,
then you
so you're
have
gonna be
luncheon,
like
and then you have
so
tea,
you're
and
gonna
then you
be
have
too
dinner, and
overcome
then
with
you have
tryptophan
supper.
to actually like attend session. I get it.
Listen, it's 12 hours of extended edition Lord of the Rings and
Yeah.
all the Hobbit meals.
That does actually sound pretty cool.
I literally
fun.
look forward to it every year.
Our friend Clark cooks everything, and he does just a fantastic job.
My boy is amazing.
I don't think I could eat that much food, but the rest of it might actually get me to finish watching Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, when it's spaced out over 12 hours, it's very manageable.
Mhm.
No. I
Anyway,
could barely finish the second movie, I'm gonna be honest. They're just too long.
Anyway,
All
Heresy.
right. Well, thanks for playing, everybody.
playing, guys.
Yeah.
And we'll see you
Bye.
next time. Whenever that is.
We'll figure it
Yeah,
out.
fuckers.
Bye.
Bye.